Aloha and welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're still covering the two-gun Luau of 2021, and today is Stage 5, Higgins Grand Caravan. Now there are many ways to tell if a stage is going to be interesting or not when you go to a match. And here's one of them. That's right, when you see a competitor wearing tight shorty shorts, a Hawaiian short, and a ski mask, rocking an SBR AR with a suppressor and an M203 grenade launcher strapped to it, you know things are going to be interesting. Alright, well this was a target-rich environment. There were probably more targets on this stage than Dole has pineapples at their plantation. What did you have to do? Well, in your Grand Caravan, which I admit Higgins probably would have for hauling Zeus and Apollo around to do his errands, you started in the driver's seat. That the previous owner of this van was nice enough to leave a bunch of natty bows laying around. Or maybe that was a mean thing to do because that's horrible beer. But anyways, I digress. Your rifle was staged behind you on the floor, pointed out the passenger side sliding door, the driver's side sliding door, and you got out of the seat, retrieved your rifle, and then you had a whole array of targets that you could engage, either out the driver's side sliding door, out the rear hatch of the van, or as you've just seen, crawl out and hang over the top and engage all the targets that way. There was a whole slew of paper all over the bay on this one. You'll see the stage description right here. So on this stage you started from the driver's position, your hands on the wheel at 10 and 2. Your butt and legs could be facing in any direction. Your rifle was behind you, pointing out the driver's side sliding door, and then you had to get out, retrieve your rifle, and then you had to engage all the humanoid-shaped IDPA IPSC style targets with your rifle, either out the driver's side slider door or out the back hatch, or as you just saw, by crawling almost on top of the vehicle and shooting over the top of everything to get to them all. Once you were done with the rifle portion, there was a setting close of 5 knockdown plates you had to engage with your pistol after abandoning your rifle. And then you went up to shooter's box number 2, and there was a whole bunch of the classic turtle style IPSC targets that you had to engage. And then when you exited that shooter box after clearing all those turtles and a set of 5 steel knockdown targets, you dashed over to the final position, which had 2 barrels in front of you and 2 of the turtle targets right behind it. So you just reach over the barrel and bang, bang. And then you were done. So let's take a look at how that went.
Shooter, you understand the course of fire?
I do.
Shooter, are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. High.
Low.
Same spot.
Yeah. I'm doing a 6 arc right now.
Low.
Moving on.
Roger.
Hit.
Alright, I'm abandoning the rifle.
Okay.
Fuck!
No worries.
Alright, so for the record, I parred out on this stage, but that was kind of anticipated, and here's why. Sometimes when you approach a stage, you look at it, and knowing the problems that I was having with my weapon systems, and the fact that that had taken me out of contention of placing anywhere near the top of the list, that what I decided to do was get training value out of this stage. And by that I mean you don't always get to fire out of a vehicle, especially one where, let's be honest, if something goes wrong and you tear something up, it's not personal damage you got to repair. So I told the RO at the start of it, because I was near the end of the firing order, that hey, looks like we're doing good on time. Don't worry about the part time on this. I just want to go through it for training value. And he was fine with that and allowed me to do it. So when the buzzer went off, I started engaging targets, and one of the type of targets that was going to present itself as a problem was there were 6 clays hanging near the far end of the bay. And I knew with the problems I was having with my rifle that those were going to be hard engagements. And I went through, got all my paper targets, started working on those clays, had a good stable shooting position on the seat that was in the back of the van in a laid down format, and had trouble getting my hits. I ended up actually abandoning 2 of the clays. And the reason I chose to do that was calling my shots. When you know you've placed a well-aimed shot and you don't get the result, it tells you something's wrong. Well, what happened was I figured out my offset. I was working on the last targets, and I took 2 well-aimed shots, called them, knew where they should have hit, and they hit on opposite sides of the clay. And I was like, this is more than a sighting problem. I know I'm not making any shooter errors here, and I'm just wasting a lot of ammunition. And 7.62 by 39, thanks to our president, has become damn near unobtainium, or will be soon. So I didn't want to just throw ammo away. And at that point, I chose to abandon the rifle and finish the rest of the stage with my pistol as the stage was intended to be done. Now, the cool thing, it turned out, I only overwent par by 3 seconds, so not too bad. And then that tells me had I been getting my hits, I probably would have had a whole lot better stage time. Overall, this was just an absolutely excellent stage. You had to test your rifle carbine skills against some incredibly tough targets. Clays are only about this big, and they were a significant distance from the vehicle. You had targets that were partially masked by no-shoot targets, and on the pistol stage, you had to have the exact perfect shooting position to get some of these targets that also had hardcover parts on them, or covered over by no-shoots, or just being at weird angles behind the barrels. You know, you couldn't just pick a good spot and engage everything. No, you had to be on the move. You had to think about what you were shooting at, when you were, where you were at. And when you came to certain target arrays, like the pistol knockdown steel, it only looked like 3, but when you knocked the 2 on the ends down, voila, another one behind it. So you end up having 5 steel targets you had to engage there. And you also had to be careful as you rushed to the final firing position to get those 2 turtles that were hiding behind the barrels. It's not that you didn't know they were there, but between P2 and P3, you could build up quite a series of momentum, and I watched a couple shooters incur some penalties because their momentum carried them right out of the shooter's box. So that's easy as that target looks, being at point blank range. There's still potential there for errors and penalties to be occurred. We hope you're enjoying this coverage of the 2021 two-gun Luau. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for Stage 6.